Hello and welcome to Peaceful Soul, a little corner where we explore how to find calm in the mind and real strength in the way we think. Let me ask you this. Have you ever wondered why some people always seem to carry a smile, even when life throws challenges at them that would break most of us? Is it luck? Not at all. The difference lies in how they choose to think and respond every single day. In today's video, I'm going to share with you 10 golden principles of positive thinking. And these aren't empty slogans or feel-good quotes you'll forget tomorrow. They're practical tools, backed by science and proven in real life, that can truly reshape the way you see the world. With them, you'll learn how to turn obstacles into opportunities, and failures into stepping stones for growth. So, stay with me until the very end. I promise, you'll discover at least one principle that has the power to change the way you live, the way you love, and even the way you smile at yourself every morning. You know, our mind is a lot like a garden. When you plant seeds of positivity, you'll see flowers bloom and fruits grow. But if you neglect it, if you let negativity, fear, and worry take over, the weeds will spread, and the whole garden will wither away. That's why our thoughts aren't just fleeting ideas, they actually shape the way we live and experience life. Think back to a morning when you woke up feeling optimistic. Even if traffic was bad or work piled up, you probably handled it all with a lighter heart. But on the days you woke up already weighed down by negativity, didn't it feel like the entire day was against you? That's not magic, it's how our brain works. It's constantly searching for proof to reinforce whatever belief it's already chosen. And science backs this up. Researchers at Stanford University have found that people who cultivate positive thinking aren't just happier, they're better at handling stress, and even have stronger immune systems. In other words, the way you think each day doesn't just affect your emotions, it directly impacts your physical health. The good news is, you can start small. Each morning, instead of letting your mind wander to worry, choose a thought worth planting. Maybe tell yourself, today, I'll do the best I can. Or, I believe this day has something new to offer me. These little seeds, if you nurture them, will grow into a thriving garden within your soul. Of course, life will always throw things at us that we can't control. You can't change the weather. You can't force someone to love you, or to agree with you. But you can choose how you respond. And that choice, that's where your true power lies. Imagine it rains. You could complain all day about the gray skies. Or you could simply grab your umbrella, slip on a raincoat, and enjoy the fresh, cool air. The weather hasn't changed, but your experience has. No surprise. A Harvard study revealed that people who focus their energy on what they can control feel less stressed and more satisfied with life. On the other hand, those who spend their energy on what's beyond their reach often end up anxious, disappointed, and drained. I'm reminded of my friend Michael. His company introduced new policies that made his job much harder. At first, he was angry and frustrated, but then he realized he couldn't change the policy. What he could do was shift his focus. So he poured his energy into learning new skills and improving his performance. The result? Not only did he survive the tough times, he actually earned a promotion. Michael chose to control the one thing he truly could, himself. When you stop chasing what's out of your control, you feel lighter, freer, because no matter what happens, you always have the power to choose your attitude and your actions. That's the key to keeping your mind calm and steady. Another powerful habit that fuels positive thinking is gratitude. When you shift your focus from what's missing to what you already have, your mind naturally finds peace and joy, even in difficult days. It's as simple as starting your morning by thinking of 3 things you're grateful for: a roof over your head, a good meal, or just the health to start a new day. Happiness has been there all along. Gratitude just helps you see it. Researchers at the University of California found that people who kept a gratitude journal for as little as 3 weeks felt more optimistic, slept better, and built stronger relationships. A small act, but one with the power to completely transform how you view your life. I think of my friend Emily, who once felt crushed by stress at work. Instead of breaking down, she began writing 3 things she was grateful for every night before bed. Months later, she felt calmer, happier, more balanced. She told me gratitude helped her stop chasing what she didn't have and start cherishing what she did. And here's the most beautiful part. Gratitude doesn't just change you. It spreads. That positive energy radiates outward. A smile, a thank you, a small act of kindness. You never know how deeply those little gestures might brighten someone else's entire day. They say you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, and it's truer than you might think. The people around you, your friends, your coworkers, your community, have a powerful influence on how you think, feel, and act every single day. If you constantly surround yourself with complainers and pessimists, sooner or later, you'll be pulled into their cycle of negativity. But when you choose to be around people who radiate energy, encouragement, and optimism, you gain the strength to push through even the toughest times. It's no coincidence that a Harvard study spanning over 75 years found that positive relationships are the single greatest predictor of happiness, more than money, fame, or status. We are truly happier when we're connected to people who inspire and support us. I once heard from a student who joined a small group of people committed to healthy living. She told me that just being in that group completely transformed her life. The encouragement and accountability from her friends helped her stay consistent with exercise, eat more mindfully, and gradually develop a more positive outlook. That's proof that you can start today by seeking out people who make you feel safe, energized, and uplifted, and even more importantly, by choosing to be that source of positive energy for others. But life isn't just about relationships. It's also about failure. Most of us fear failure, seeing it as a dead end or proof that we're not good enough. But in reality, failure is one of the most essential stepping stones to success. Thomas Edison once said he didn't fail 10,000 times while inventing the light bulb. He simply found 10,000 ways that didn't work. If he had given up after the first attempt, the world might still be in the dark. Science backs this up. Neuroscience research shows that our brains actually learn faster after mistakes. A report in the Journal of Experimental Psychology found that people who make errors and then correct them remember what they learned longer than those who get everything right the first time. Failure isn't the end, it's the training ground for growth. I think of my friend Sarah. She opened a small coffee shop, but within months, she had to close it down because business was slow. She was devastated, even convinced she wasn't cut out for entrepreneurship. But instead of quitting, Sarah studied what went wrong. She researched her market, focused on customer experience, and tried again. A year later, she opened a new cafe, and this time, it became a neighborhood favorite. Failure taught her lessons no book ever could. And once you learn to embrace failure, you also learn to embrace gratitude. Have you ever woken up, taken a deep breath of fresh morning air, or sipped a warm cup of coffee and suddenly felt life was lighter? That's the power of gratitude, starting from the small things we often overlook. Science shows gratitude has incredible benefits. Regularly practicing it can lower stress, improve sleep, and even boost your immune system. One study published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology found that writing down 3 things you're grateful for every day, for just 10 weeks, made people significantly happier and more optimistic. I remember speaking with a man named John. He had gone through a long battle with depression. What helped him turn the corner wasn't some complicated treatment, it was a simple notebook. Every night, John wrote down 3 things he was grateful for. Sometimes it was a phone call from his mom. Other times, it was the sound of his son's laughter. Slowly, he began to realize his life wasn't as dark as it once seemed. There were still sparks of light to hold onto. And here's the thing. You don't need a huge success to start feeling grateful. Begin with your body, your loved ones, or even the quiet moments of peace in your day. Gratitude for these small things builds resilience, grounding your soul in strength and joy, one day at a time. Have you ever noticed how often we get stuck between 2 worlds? The past pulls us back with regrets, while the future weighs us down with worries. Our minds keep running in circles. And all the while, the only thing we truly own is this very moment. A famous study from Harvard revealed that people spend nearly 47% of their day with their minds wandering, thinking about what's already gone or imagining what hasn't happened yet. And here's the kicker. When the mind drifts like that, we actually feel less happy. That tells us something powerful. Happiness doesn't depend on how much we have, but on our ability to fully embrace the present. I once knew a man named Michael. He was a busy entrepreneur, always chasing big projects and multi-million-dollar deals. But in all those years, He almost missed his daughter's childhood. One evening, during dinner, his little girl said, "Dad, you've never played with me for more than 10 minutes." That simple, innocent comment hit him like a dagger to the heart. Michael suddenly realized he had been trading the most precious moments of life for something that could never fill the emptiness inside. From that day on, he changed. He learned to slow down, turning off his phone at the dinner table, setting aside work to read bedtime stories, kicking a ball around in the backyard. And he discovered that real happiness wasn't hiding in revenue reports or contracts, it was right there, in the sparkle of his daughter's eyes and the sound of her laughter. Now, living in the present doesn't mean ignoring the future. It simply means appreciating each moment as it comes, whether it's breathing in the crisp morning air, listening to birds sing, or savoring the sweetness of a hot cup of coffee. These little moments, stitched together, are what make life truly whole. But here's the truth. To fully enjoy the present, you also need to care for your body. Many people think physical health and mental health are separate, but they're deeply connected. Any change in the body directly affects the mind. Think about it. A good night's sleep leaves you energized and joyful, while a restless night makes everything feel 10 times heavier. A balanced meal lifts you up, while greasy fast food drags you down. And just 30 minutes of movement can reset your entire mood. Science proves this. A study published in the Journal of Psychiatric Research found that people who exercise regularly are 25 to 30% less likely to develop depression. Why? Because when you move, your brain releases endorphins, the feel-good hormones, that melt away stress and restore balance. I remember a patient named Emily. She lived in constant anxiety and sleepless nights. Instead of relying only on medication, we started with small habits, going to bed at the same time, drinking more water, adding veggies to her meals, and doing yoga each morning. Within months, the transformation was remarkable. Emily felt clearer, slept deeper, and rediscovered the energy to chase her passions. This proves something important. Taking care of your body doesn't have to be complicated. You don't need extreme workouts or strict diets. Just start small. Drink another glass of water. Take a short walk instead of sitting all day. Pause to breathe deeply when stress rises. Every little action is a reminder that your body is the only home you'll ever have. And when you treat that home with kindness, your mind flourishes too. But perhaps the most powerful key to inner peace is forgiveness. Imagine carrying a backpack full of heavy rocks. You can still walk forward, but every step becomes exhausting. Anger and resentment are those rocks. The longer you hold onto them, the heavier life feels. Forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting, excusing, or condoning what someone did. It simply means choosing to set down a weight you no longer need to carry. Research from Stanford shows that people who practice forgiveness have lower blood pressure, less stress, and better sleep than those who cling to resentment. Forgiveness heals not only relationships, but also your body and soul. I'm reminded of a man named David. He hadn't spoken to his best friend in years over a small argument. But when David's mother passed away, that old friend quietly showed up at the funeral. In that moment, David realized that friendship was far more valuable than pride. He chose to forgive, and the two reconnected. From then on, David described his heart as feeling lighter than it had in decades. Because at the end of the day, forgiveness isn't a gift for someone else, it's a gift for yourself. When you release anger, you create space in your heart for love, joy, and peace to flow in. One of the secrets to lasting happiness is living for a purpose greater than yourself. When you know exactly why you wake up each morning, you unlock a source of strength that carries you through even the toughest challenges. Researchers at Yale University have found that people with a clear sense of purpose tend to be healthier, less prone to depression, and even live longer. And that purpose doesn't have to be something grand like changing the world. It can be as simple as raising happy children, dedicating yourself to work you love, or contributing to the well-being of your community. I once spoke with a woman named Linda. After retiring, she felt an overwhelming emptiness, as if each day had lost its meaning. But instead of giving in, she signed up to volunteer at a local childcare center. At first, she thought she was just helping out a little for fun. But soon she noticed joy returning to her life. The innocent smiles, the little hands holding hers. Those small moments gave her a new sense of purpose. bringing love and comfort to children who needed it most. From that point on, her days were filled with meaning again. A purpose, whether big or small, is like a lighthouse in the dark. It doesn't make the storms disappear, but it gives you direction, a reason to keep steering forward. And when you find your purpose, you don't just find meaning, you find yourself. So, we've now journeyed through 10 golden rules of positive thinking. From choosing your thoughts each day, learning to forgive, appreciating the present moment, taking care of your body, practicing gratitude, to living for a higher purpose. Each principle isn't just advice, it's a doorway to becoming a stronger, brighter version of yourself. But remember this: change doesn't happen overnight. It's built through small steps, little choices, day after day, and each of those steps adds up to a life that's more powerful, joyful, and peaceful. Start today, even with something simple, like writing down 3 things you're grateful for before bed. You'll be amazed at how quickly those small shifts transform your world. If today's video brought you value, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss future journeys here at Peaceful Soul. This is where we learn together to heal, to find peace, and to nurture a stronger, calmer mind every single day. Thank you for staying with me until the very end. I wish you a new day filled with positive energy, and I can't wait to see you again in the journeys ahead.